श्रीगुरुभ्यो नमः। ह्रीङ्कारासन गर्भितानलसिकान् सौः क्लीं कलां बिभ्रतीं सौवर्णाम्बरधारिणीं वरसुधा धौतां त्रिनेत्रोज्ज्वलाम् वन्दे पुस्तकपाशमङ्कुशधरां स्रग्भूषितामुज्ज्वलाम् त्यां गौरीं त्रिपुरां परात्परगलां श्रीचक्रसञ्चारिणीं ध्यानम् आरक्ताभां त्रिनेत्रां अरुणिमवसनां रत्नताटङ्करम्यां हस्ताम्बोजैश्च पाशाङ्कुश मदनधनुस्सायकैर्विस्फुरन्तीम् आपीनोत्तुङ्गवक्षोरुह कलशलुठद्धारहारोज्ज्वलाङ्गीम् ध्यायेदम्बोरुहस्ताम् अरुणिमवसनाम् ईश्वरीमीश्वराणाम् ॐ ऐं ह्रीं श्रीं ऐं क्लीं सौः ॐ नमस्त्रिपुरसुन्दरी हृदयदेवी शिरोदेवी शिखादेवी कवचदेवी नेत्रदेवी अस्त्रदेवी कामेश्वरी भगमालिनी नित्यक्लिन्नी भेरुण्डे वह्निवासिनी महावज्रेश्वरी शिवधूती त्वरिते कुलसुन्दरी नित्ये नीलपताके विजये सर्वमङ्गले ज्वालामालिनी चित्रे महानित्ये परमेश्वर परमेश्वरी मित्रेशमयी षष्ठीशमयी उड्डीशमयी चर्यानाथमयी लोभामुद्रमयी अगस्त्यमयी कालतापनमयी धर्माचार्यमयी मुक्तकेशीश्वरमयी दीपकलानाथमयी विष्णुदेवमयी प्रभाकरदेवमयी तेजोदेवमयी मनोजदेवमयी कल्याणदेवमयी वासुदेवमयी रत्नदेवमयी श्रीरामानन्दमयी अणिमा सिद्धे लघिमा सिद्धे महिमा सिद्धे ईशित्व सिद्धे वशित्व सिद्धे प्राकाम्य सिद्धे भुक्ति सिद्धे इच्छा सिद्धे प्राप्ति सिद्धे सर्वकाम सिद्धे ब्राह्मी माहेश्वरी कौमारी वैष्णवी वाराही माहेन्द्री चामुण्डे महालक्ष्मी सर्वसंक्षोभिनी सर्वविद्राविणी सर्वाकर्षिणी सर्ववशङ्करी सर्वोन्मादिनी सर्वमहाङ्कुशे सर्वखेचरी सर्वबीजे सर्वयोने सर्वत्रिकण्डे त्रैलोक्यमोहनचक्रस्वामिनी प्रकटयोगिनी कामाकर्षिणी बुद्ध्याकर्षिणी अहङ्काराकर्षिणी शब्दाकर्षिणी स्पर्शाकर्षिणी रूपाकर्षिणी रसाकर्षिणी गन्धाकर्षिणी चित्ताकर्षिणी धैर्याकर्षिणी स्मृत्याकर्षिणी नामाकर्षिणी बीजाकर्षिणी आत्माकर्षिणी अमृताकर्षिणी शरीराकर्षिणी सर्वाशा परिपूरकचक्रस्वामिनी गुप्तयोगिनी अनङ्गकुसुमे अनङ्गमेखले अनङ्गमदने अनङ्गमदनातुरे अनङ्गरेखे अनङ्गवेगिनी अनङ्गाङ्कुशे अनङ्गमालिनी सर्वसंक्षोभणचक्रस्वामिनी Guptatara Yogini, Sarvasamshobhini, Sarvavidravini, Sarvakarshini, Sarvahladini, Sarvasammohini, Sarvastambini, Sarvajrumbini, Sarvavashankari, Sarvaranjani, Sarvonmadini, Sarvarthasadike, Sarvasampatti Purani, Sarvamantramai, Sarvadvandvakshayankari, Sarvasaubhagyadayana Chakraswamini, Sampradaya Yogini, Sarvasiddhi Prade, Sarvasampat Prade, Sarvapriyankari, Sarvamangalakarini, Sarvakama Prade, Sarvadukka Vimochani, Sarvamrityu Prashamani, Sarvavigna Nivarini, Sarvanga Sundari, Sarvasaubhagyadayini, Sarvartha Sadhaka Chakraswamini, Kulottirna Yogini, Sarvanye, Sarvashakte, Sarvaishvarya Pradayini, Sarvajnanamayi, Sarvavyadi Vinashini, Sarvadhara Swarupe, Sarvapapahare, Sarvanandamayi, Sarvaraksha Swarupini, Sarvepsida Phalaprade, Sarvaraksha Karachakra Swamini, Nigarbha Yogini, Vashini, Kamesvari, Modini, Vimale, Aruna, Jayini, Sarvesvari, Kaulini, Sarvarogahara Chakreswari, Rahasya Yogini. We are entering the 7th Avarana. Guru Upadesham is the 6th Avarana. And now Mananam. The philosophy of this Avarana is Mananam. This has got 8 triangles, Ashtakonam. The triangles, first we saw the 14 triangles, Chaturdasha Konam, and Bahirdasham, Antardasham, 10 triangles Avarana. This one has got 8 triangles. These 8 triangles, they are called as Sarvarogahara chakram. Roga means disease. Okay. Yoginis of this Avaranam, they are called Rahasya Yoginis. Rahasya Yoginis, the Yoginis are called Rahasya Yoginis, and Chakreswari is Tripurasiddha, Tripurasiddhi Chakreswari. The Siddhi of this Avaranam is Bhukti Siddhi, and the Mudra Shakti is Sarvakhechari Mudra Shakti. This Khechari Mudra, Sarvakhechari Mudra comes in the Tantram. This is, of this 10 mudras, it is Sarvakhechari comes in Tantric Mudra. The 8 Devatas are Vashini, Kamesvari, Modini, Vimala, Aruna, Jayini, Sarvesvari. They are the Vashinyadi Devatas of speech. And we all know that they compose Lalita Sahasranam. They were the one who were the composers of Sri Lalita Sahasranam. What happens to the sadhaka after he hears the Mahavakyam from his Guru, Tattvamasi? I told you the next 3 Avaranas are the travel from Tattvamasi to Aham Brahmasmi. The realization that I am nothing but the Brahman. But the first Mahavakyam being given by the Guru here is Tat Tvam Asi. You are that. You are not different from the Brahman. The next stage, what happens to the sadhaka? As usual, like all of us, the sadhaka gets only the doubts. When the Brahman is so huge and he creates and everything, how can I be the Brahman? First doubt comes now. For everyone comes, it is not. Samshayam, doubtfulness. That is the first thing that comes. How can it be? How can I be the Brahman? How can the Brahman be me or I be the Brahman? So there are two kind of, they call these as impediments, obstructions in your journey, in your spiritual journey. And there are two types of obstructions, they call it. The two impediments are asambhavana and viparita bhavana. Now, asambhavana means impossible to comprehend that factor. Impossible to comprehend that I am Brahma. That is asambhavana. Because so many doubts arise in his mind, he could not comprehend that statement. How I can be the Brahman? So many doubts come. Viparita bhavana, you know what it is? He is running about everywhere and not looking within himself. He is searching for it everywhere. Whether any treatise or any Vedanta, anything will provide him an answer. Or anybody will provide an answer. The search, like you're dwelling in the teaching. The teaching has been done. You are to dwell in the teaching is mananam. Mananam is something that is, the explanation is given later in this section. Like mananam means there are, how you do mananam. Inference is there. You infer certain things. Dhargam is there. Logic is there, like whether this is, so you dwell in that statement and then you start finding answers anywhere, whether it is available. So these are all the two impediments. They call it as asambhavana and viparita bhavana. Viparita bhavana is going around in all directions to find out an answer. Asambhavana, first he is not able to comprehend that at all. When he was told that, when he was taught that, he was not able to comprehend what it means. Finding answer to that is manana. That is what this seventh Avarana represents. Finding answers to his doubts. What are all the doubts that can come? Gaudapadar has written, I have also mentioned it before, Sri Vidya Mantra Ratna Sutram. Sri Vidya Mantra Ratna Sutram is written by Gaudapadar. Gaudapadar is Govinda Bhagavapadar's Guru. Govinda Bhagavapadar is Adi-Shankara Bhagavapadar's Guru. Gaudapadar is Govinda Bhagavapadar's Guru. So there's a Parameshwar Guru of Shankara Bhagavapada. So Gaudapadar has written the Sutram on the Sri Vidya Upasana, and that is called Sri Vidya Mantra Ratna Sutram. In that he says, Sri Vidya represents Mananam, Nididhyasanam and Samadhi. Sri Vidya Upasana is nothing but Mananam, Nididhyasanam and Samadhi. The 7th, 8th, 9th Avarana is the crux of Sri Vidya Upasana. I mentioned a word called aparokshanyana in the last segment. Aparokshanyana means perceivable knowledge. It is like, you are going to a place. You can see the building from far away. You have not reached there. When you are traveling towards, say, to the airport or a railway station, you can see the building. You are coming in sight of it. You are traveling towards it, but you have not reached there. Aparoksha jnanam is something, it is there in that direction and I am able to see it. I have not realized, I have not reached, I have not done anything. Aparokshana, it is called aparoksha jnana. Only when you get this, only when you come in sight of your destination, you will find ways to reach it. So if you have not come to the level of coming in sight of it, your first thing is to come in sight of it. Go to the Google map, find out where it is, how to maneuver your way through the traffic and go there to the destination. First you see that. Your first step is that. But when you come in sight of it only, your destination is very clear and you just want to go there. You are not lost anywhere. So aparoksha jnanam is the first step in reaching the destination. So the Sutram says, Gaudapadar says, because of these doubts, many stop. Many are not even able to come to the level of aparoksha jnana, that is perceivable knowledge. Going beyond this is actually your travel. Srividya Upasana is going beyond this perceivable knowledge and reach your destination. So what he says is, those people who are in this asambhavana and viparita bhavana stage where there are so many doubts in them, their first aim is to reach that aparoksha jnana. First, they should not aim at reaching the end. First, because that is the main entrance to that. Unless you get it, you cannot go beyond that. So, first, they should spend their lifetime in perceive that what is Brahman. And then, after perceiving, only should aim at reaching it. So that is very, very clear, and Gaudapadar has mentioned in his sutra. He says the Srividya Upasana is only after that. After gaining that aparoksha knowledge only, that jnanam only, after attaining that jnanam, the sadhaka can go to mananam, nididhyasanam and samadhi. So till that time, your aim is only to reach there. Upasana starts only after that. Srividya Upasana starts only after that. So the doubts, what kind of doubts sadhaka normally has about this tattvam asi? That art thou. Tat means that. Tattvam means you. Asi, you are. That art thou. Ekadikarane paraspara vruddha nana dharma jnanameva samshaya. Dharmam is so many times contradictory. We really don't know which is actually dharma. I have told you guys about a story long back about a bird sitting in the entrance of Vaikuntha. A small bird is sitting. Yama wants to have a meeting with Mahavishnu. So he comes to Vaikuntha. He sees in the arch there was one bird sitting there. He looks at it intently for a minute and then he walks through the door. Garuda was watching this. The moment Garuda thought, this Yama is looking at this bird, it means that the end is going to come. Before he meets and comes back, I will remove this bird from this place. Garuda can, Mano Veham, Garuda Veham, it is. So what happens? He takes the bird and flies across 7 seas and places it on the rock in a forest. So Yama goes inside, he comes back after meeting Mahavishnu, he comes out. He looks at the same place, bird is not there. Then he smiled. So Garuda was very proud. See, I saved the bird's life. He gave a very, very meaningful smile. Yama didn't tell anything. Yama just told, I was wondering that this bird's life has to end 7 seas away on a rock when it was sitting on the rock in a forest. How is it sitting here in the Vaikuntha, in the entrance? What is Dharma? What is Dharma? No? We all should have watched Garuda's face going down. Who else could have reached him that far in no time other than Garuda himself? So the contradictory nature of Dharma. Contradictory nature of Dharma is so much that only gets a lot of doubts in your mind. That's what they say. Egati karane paraspara viruddha. Paraspara viruddha. When you feel that this is Dharma and the same thing can be Adharma. When we say, there is something that is Dharma, can be Adharma also. So, paraspara viruddha nana dharmanya. Jnanam eva samsaya. That is what is samsaya. What doubt? The root of the doubt is that. Because the treatises, when they are talking about Dharma, you feel that this is not Dharma alone. The doubt comes for everybody, like how it came for Garuda himself. Dharma can be contradictory. So the doubts arise because of the treatises that declare Dharma, what is Dharma, and Paraspara Vritti. And in the same time they are contradictory to one another. When we say this thing is Dharma, there are treatises to say that this thing is Dharma. There are treatises to say this is not Dharma also. So which way to go? And it's the first question comes. So the doubts come. I have taught about Mana Matru Meya. Pramana, Pramatru, Prameya. Matru means sadhaka. Pramanam means the treatises. Vedam or Mahavakyam or Upanishads. All those treatises are the Pramanam. Proof to say about the Brahman. Brahman is the Prameya. The sadhaka, the Matru, has doubt about the other two. There are 2 doubts, they say. Pramanagatha samshayam, prameyagata samshayam. There are only 2. Pramatru is him only, no? Pramanagata samshayam and prameyagata samshayam. Whether the first Pramanagata samshayam, does this really, this Vakyas and the Vedas teach that can take me to the Brahman? That is Pramanagata. You doubt the root itself. Whether they are really can take you to reach the Brahman, to realize the Brahman. Prameyagatas samshayam. The doubts that arise in Tat and Tvam, Tattvamasi, Tat and Tvam. Prameyagata samshayam has got Atma samshayam, Atma prameyam and Anatma prameyam. Anatma prameyam is useless, so we just leave it like that. Atma prameyam. We will come to the main one. Atma prameyam is only connected with us. If Tat Tvamasi means Tat and Tvam are the same, whether this Atma is always in union with Tvam, Tat or not. Tvam is always in union with Tat or not. Bhinna, Abhinna. Whether it is Bhinnam or Abhinna. Atma is in union with the Brahman or not. The first main doubt only has come here. If it is in union, then the next step goes. Is it in union only in moksha or here also? After death, if you go, then it is in union. Or even when I am alive here in this world, still it is in union or not? That is the another question. The biggest question that comes is, if it is in union, because we have seen the Brahman means Anandam, is always in the bliss. So the form of bliss is Brahman. Whether this Atma is always in the blissful state. Because I see sorrows everywhere. I see distress everywhere. I see the afflictions everywhere. Then can Atma be in the blissful state? Is it going through what I am going through? Is it affecting it? Whatever I am going through in this world, is it affecting the Atma? That happens, no? That happens even for everybody. When we are going through so many sorrows, how Atma can be in the blissful state all the time? No? Unaffected by what we go through. Then, if it is in the form of bliss, then it is a power. Is it a power or it is just a characteristics of that Atma to be in bliss because it is in union with the Brahman? These are all one form of doubts. In particularly about Tvam. Tvam means the person, the Jivatma. Whether this Atma, the Jivatma, is different from body or not. Is it the same as body or different from body? The first thing that comes. When we say Jivatma or I, whether we denote the physical self or the Atma that is inside, whether these two are connected. All those things that comes in the mind. Whether it is like, whether the Atma evolves or the body, the evolvement happens with the body or Atma. These are all the things that normally happens to many of us, like whether it is omnipotent, because this Atma you say is that is everywhere, so this Atma is also everywhere or what? Or it is only in my body? Reasonable doubt, no? That is when we say that Brahma. And when it comes to Brahman, can that be, is it in Kailasham or Vaikuntham? First clarify that. So we will aim at one place and pray. No? Is it only in Kailasham or in Vaikuntham? Whether it is the reason the Prapancham is created and he nurtures it. Out of desire he creates the Prapancham. Yeah, I want this Prapancham to play with, so I am creating it. And he nurtures that. Whether it is that. Or whether he is a karma phalada, the soul's fruits of karma, according to that, whether the Prapancham is created. Prapancham is created according to the fruits of the karma, what the souls have done. The souls are constant, as I have told you, we only see the population increase on one side. Then there is a doubt that comes in our mind, then how come the souls are constant? When the population goes up, we cut off many trees, we cut off many mountains. Everything is shrinking. There are so many souls encased in a mountain. Where will they go? There are so many animals that are getting instinct. The souls within those animals, where will they go? Right? This happens because the space is constant. The souls or number of souls are constant. They don't increase. So, karma phalada, whether God creates the Brahman, the Prapancham is created according to the karmas of the souls. That is one thing, that this doubt is always there. Whether it is out of desire it comes, or it is exactly, but it is exactly whatever we have seen it in Lalita Sahasranamam, we have seen Vikshana, all these things we have seen it. Those things denote that it is according to when the fructification of karmas happen, of the souls happen, only the process of creation starts. Recreation starts, not the creation, recreation starts. Till such time it is in the line with the Brahman, Karna Deham, line with the Brahman. So these doubts are the rogam, disease. It is called as rogam. These doubts that arise out of all these things that we have talked about can be cleared by the connection that you make with all them. There are quite a few Mahavakyas mentioned in Upanishads and Vedas. That connection, when you start making, you are able to correlate everything. They are not contradictory to one. Mahavakyams are not contradictory to one another. They are in conjunction. There is a connectivity amongst all. When that clarity comes in your mind, this pramanagata samshayam gets cleared. When the pramanagata samshayam gets cleared, pramayam, your knowledge about the doubts about the Brahman also get clear. That is what they say. This is like, when we find the Mahavakyams non-contradictory or in conjunction or in in unison, they declare only one thing. Now we have seen it in a lot of, we take Bhagavatam, we take Mahatmyam, we take Lalita Sahasranamam, we saw. All these things, they talk only about all the Upanishads, you see, they all talk about only one thing. We call different names. You call them as Mahavishnu, you call them as Durga, you call them in Lalita, you call in different names. But in unison, you find that kind of a unity in what they are conveying. Then you know that they are not talking anything differently. They are not contradicting with one another. They all mean only one thing. That is the Brahman. When that clarity comes in your mind, all your doubts about the Vedanta and even the Brahman gets clear. The Samshayam is the main culprit and it is the Roham. That is why this Avarana clears the doubts. That is why it is called Sarvarogahara chakram. I told you 3 things called Mananam. What is Mananam means? Reasoning. Yukti they call it. Reasoning. The second one is Dargam, argument. So, pros and cons, you argue with somebody, you listen to that, or you listen to people arguing with one another about different scriptures. You listen to that. And inference, anumanam comes after that. So, yukti, dargam, and finally anumanam. That inference, you infer that this is what it is. This process is called mananam. First reasoning, then debate, dargam, then the last one is inference or anumanam. Yukti, Dargam and Anumanam is called Mananam. Yogini Hridayam says about Sarvaroga chakram that Sarvarogahara chakram, the definition it gives, Anitya Asuchi Klesha Rupa Samsaro Rogaha. What is Rogam? Anitya, temporary aspect. Asuchi. Asuchi means impure. Klesha. Klesha is like, distress or being afflicted. Klesha. Samsaro roga. The samsaram has got 3 characteristics. Samsaram is anitya. It is not permanent one. It is temporary. Asuchi. It is impure. It is always in distress. This is Rogaha, Samsaro Rogaha. Tasya Harane Prabhavashaliti Sarvarogahara Chakram. It is like the Sarvaroga Chakram has got the power to remove that Roham. Power to remove this Roham, that Samsaram, is relieve you from this Samsaram. It has got the capacity to relieve you. Prabhavashaliti. Ajnanam, ignorance, we say, like, that itself, that is also called Rogam. Ajnanam, because we are all covered by Ajnanam. We don't know the truth. Ignorance here comes in the form of doubts. People who ask doubts have to be very careful. That only exposes their ignorance. Right? But that doesn't stop you from asking doubts. You have to ask, because I'm here to teach. Doubts are something being students. Doubts come, no? When you are not knowing. Students, when they don't know about something, they get doubts. Why is it like this? Why? What? All those things, it comes. So the doubts of the sadhakas gets clear here. All the doubts get cleared in this Avarana. That is why it is called Sarvarogahara chakram. Rahasya Yogini Devi Samsara Dhalanojvale Sarvarogahara Chakre Samsita Veeravandite. Rahasya Yogini Devi. These 8 yoginis, Rahasya yoginis, Samsara Dhalanojvale. They are like, Dhalana means destroying it, crumbling it, crushing it. Samsara Dhalanojvale. Samsara, it just destroys that samsara. Sarvarogahara Chakre Samsita Veeravandite. Veera means the one who gets over this samshaya, this gets over this doubts, or Veera. They are worshipped by Veeravandite, worshipped by Veera. The sadhaka becomes a Veeran when he gets all the doubts are cleared from his mind. Okay. Janana Marana Rupa Samsara. Samsaram is so temporary because there is a beginning, there is an end. Production date and expiry date. That is the reason we are all drawn, because we have given a name to everything. There is a form. In every kingdom, whether it is plant kingdom or animal kingdom or mammals or anything you take, you have a definite name and form. Amongst that also, we have names, different names. We call one another. So the names and forms only give you the thing that, the dualities happen because of that. You are not comprehend that how with different forms and names they all can be one. You cannot call it as one. How can it be? This is the biggest doubt, no? With so many different names and forms. So this is something, the change that happens is highly secretive in him, in the sadhaka. To find, he's traveling towards it. The secret nature of the change that happens in his mind, that is the reason these yoginis are called Rahasya yoginis. We are not able to visibly see it from outside. It is not visibly seen. Approaching the Guru is seen. Guru teaching is seen. But the impact of the teaching that happens in the sadhaka is only within himself, and it is not seen, and it gets subtler and subtler as he progresses in his journey towards his destination. So that is why this is Rahasya Yogini, then Adirahasya Yogini, Paraparadirahasya Yogini. 3 yoginis, they are they are getting subtler and subtler. So the changes that happen in the sadhaka is subtle, which is not visible outside. That is why the yoginis here are called Rahasya yoginis. Tripurasiddha Chakreswari. Mana Matru Meya Rupanam Tripuram Utthirna Paramashiva Lakshanam Siddhi Dhyayet. Mana Matru Meya Rupanam Tripuram Utthirna. Utthirna means, I told you like before that itself, Utthirna, Kulo Utthirna, expansion or like elevation. Utthirna. The doubts that arise is cleared and the sadhaka is elevated beyond the trials. Mana Matrumeya. Then that is when he can see everything as one. So he is rising, that is Tripuranam Utthirna Parashiva Lakshanam. Then he sees the characteristics of Parabrahman everywhere. Only when he gets elevated beyond that Mana Matrumeya, Tripuri, trial. That it gives, that is why this Siddhi is called, this Ishwari of this Chakreswari is called Tripurasiddhi Chakreswari, Tripurasiddha. She is the one who gives that to you. Raise you above these trials and make you see the Brahman as one. Okay? Bhukti Siddhi. Jnanena jnayamalokya paschat jnanam parityajeti. Parityajet. Jnanena jnayamalokya paschat. When do you have a ladder? To reach top. After reaching the top, you kick the ladder. This is what it means. In simple terms, it is what it is. You have gone to a point of no return, then ladder becomes unnecessary. Ladder becomes unnecessary. Jnanam is needed for you to travel to the top, point of no return. You are not going to get back into the samsara. That is point of no return. Then after that, jnanam also goes off. Okay? There is no need for jnanam after reaching the top. That is what they say. Parityajet. Parityajet, you can abandon that jnana. Parityaja means abandoning it. Once you reach the top, because there is no, travel has come to an end. You are not going to travel further. Once you reach the top, you can abandon that knowledge. Knowledge is abandoned. Jnatra jnana jnaya vibhaga shunya nirvikalpa bodha lakshana parashiva samaveshas tatrupini. I told you that you raise above the triad. This triad is completely broken now. There is no discrimination as what is jnanam, what is jnatra or what is jnayam. So this triad, which is the Tripudi, it is completely destroyed. That is vibhaga, shunya nirvikalpa bodha lakshana, in the form of awakening. All the while we are sleeping, when you are caught in the triad, when the triad is broken, and when you find that the union of all these things is one, bodha lakshana, bodha means awakening, both the characteristic of awakening, shunya nirvikalpa. Vikalpa means like choices, you have choice, there is no choice, nirvikalpa. Nirvikalpa bodha lakshana. Bodha lakshana, bodha means awakening. Bodha lakshana, characteristic of getting that, reaching that awakening. Bodha, from bodha only Buddha comes, the awakened soul. So bodha lakshana. Parashiva samaveshas tatrubini. Her rupam is something in the form of awakening. The Brahman can be seen, raising above the triad, when the triads get destroyed, vibhaga, then shunya. There is nothing beyond that, absolutely nothing. Nirvikalpa, there is no choices, there's only one is seen. When all these triads get broken, there's only one is seen, there's no shunya nirvikalpa, not even one. He says shunya, nothing is there. Shunya nirvikalpa. What? Shunyam can be shunyam only. When this emptiness, that hollowness is there, it is just emptiness. Nirvikalpa, but bodha lakshana, with the characteristic of awakening your spirit. The spirit gets awakened within you. Samaveshas, that is what the rupam. Her rupam is that. The triads are broken completely and you are entering an empty space where there are no choices there, but it is not dark. Bodha lakshana. It is like prakasha rupam, bodha lakshana. You are entering that. Avesha. You are entering that. Tat rupini. That is what the rupam is. The form that you are seeing is got all these characteristics. There are no triads there. It is shunya. It is nirvikalpa. There are no two things there. There are no choices there. Nirvikalpa. And bodha lakshana. Her form is that. That form you are able to see it when you raise bhukti. That is what is bhukti. What the Siddhi gives us bhukti. That is atha eva bhukti siddhi. This is what this bhukti siddhi does. Take you upwards. Where you reach that stage where all the triads are destroyed and you see you are slowly getting awakened into the reality, realization. Vishvam Shivadi Bhumyantam Chamatkara Rasashrayam. Chamatkara Rasam. Astonishment. You understand, you are just astonished at that. When you reach that stage, you are astonished. Vishvam Shivadi Bhumyantam. I have told you 25 bhagam parts are there in that, from Shivadi Bhumi Antam. Panchabhutam is there. 5 elements, 5 karmendriya, jnanendriya, panchatanmatra. And 4 Antakarana, and the Shivam. 25th one is Shivam, Purusha. Sometimes they say Purusha is also, the Sankhya philosophy says Purusha is the soul, individual soul. And beyond that is Shiva. So, Shiva Adi Bhumi Antam. Bhumi Paryantam. The end is Bhumi. The 5 elements come in the end. So, Shiva Adi Bhumi Antam. Chamatkara Rasashrayam. You reach that stage, you see that everything is from Shivam to the Bhumi, everything is one. That astonishment you are seeing, that you are able to come you are able to perceive that. This is what is Bhukti Siddhi. Bhukti Siddhi is very, very important in that. Atta Charachara Brahmanat. Brahma Sutram says, Chara Acharam, all movable, immovable things are all Brahman. That is the realization that comes. The Bhukti Siddhi gives that. So, destroying the differences and unifying you and I. That is Bhukti Siddhi. That is what is the actual Bhukti you need. Bhogam you need. What is the Aishwaryam that everyone needs is only that. Bhukti Siddhi gives that. Sarvakhechari Mudra Shakti. Sarvakhechari Mudra, I told you, as it comes in the Tantra, very, very powerful. Sarvakhechari Mudra. This Mudra actually destroys all the doubts that arises. That denotes that the Mudra destroys the doubts regarding the Brahman. That is why it is like, when Nididhyasanam comes, the next stage comes. Now you are like in the process of analyzing it now, and you come to a conclusion at the end of this Avarana. So when the Nididhyasanam comes, you have to be engrossed in the doubtless Brahma aspect. All the doubt should be not there because you can engross. Nididhyasana is in deep meditation. If you have to have a deep meditation on something, all the doubt should be cleared. So this Mudra Shakti denotes that all the doubts are cleared and the sadhaka is ready to immerse himself in Nididhyasana on doubtless Brahma. Doubt-free Brahma. There is no doubts in his mind. All the doubts are cleared. Now we come to the Avarana Devatas. Avarana Devatas, I told you the Devatas are in the Vashini Vag Devatas, Vashini Adi Vag Devatas, Ashta Devatas. They denote different sastras. Vashini denotes the treatises that prove that this prapancham is the expansion of Atma. The prapancham we see is the expansion of Atma. There are so many treatises regarding that, the Vedas regarding that. All those things are represented by prapancham Atma bhinna Brahma Swarupa. Atma abhinna. The prapancham is nothing but Atma, is the expansion of Atma, which is the Brahma. The treatise is explained by Vashini, Kamesvari. Atma abhinna Brahma Swarupa. Characteristics of what this Atma is. Whether we saw that Prapancham is the expansion of that Atma, which is the Brahman, then what are all the characteristics of this Atma, which is like, which is the crux of everything? What are the characteristics of it? There are treatises mentioning about only the characteristics of that Atma, which is the Brahman. So, Atma abhinna Brahma Swarupa. Abhinna Brahma Swarupa. Atma in union with the Brahman. First you talk about the Brahman, this one talks about the Atma. That is the two things. Now we come to all the Pratibhadaka treatises, those things that obstruct or contradict to the belief that Atma and Brahman are the same. There are treatises which negate the factor. There are treatises that are available in our Hindu mythology, not Hinduism, which contradict to the statement that Atma and the Brahman are not the same. We have got Madhvacharyas, we have got Ramanujas, we have Vishishadvaitam. So those people, they say like, no, they are different. You cannot call it. So you have to analyze these things also. Mananam is something analyzing all aspects of it. Not sticking to only one and doing it. First now we are analyzing this. So this Modini Devi, she represents those Vedic treatises that obstruct the results or uses of the realization that Atma and Brahman are the same. Pratibhadaka Jnana. Contradictory statements it gives. Immediately Vimala says, she destroys that ignorance. That, see, this is by giving, Vimala means pure, Vimala. Without any impurity is called Vimala. So the doubts that is created by the Pratipadaka Veda, the treatises that obstruct the Jnanam, this one clears that and makes it pure. No, don't get carried away by what is being told, but this is what it is. Vimala, Chinmatra, purity, it denotes the purity. Aruna, the treatises that obstruct the Jiva Brahma Aikyam. Pratipadakate. All these things, see, we see now the main aspect of it is first you negate everything. Neti. First you negate. This is not this is not that. It can never be like Jivan and the Brahman can be the same. These first doubts come, only the negative doubts come into. That is why a lot of treatises, the sadhaka is drawn towards the treatises that obstruct this knowledge. Next to 3.1, treatises, Aruna, treatises that obstruct Jiva Brahma Aikyam. Jayini is someone, the treatises that give meaning of enlightenment in entirety. Akhantartha Bodhakam. Akhantartha Bodhakam. Sarvesvari says like the treatises that obstruct Jivan Mukti, how a person can attain liberation still living while still alive, being alive, how we can attain Mukti. Because the duality exists, you are living in the world of dualities, then how can you look at everything as one and continue to live in the same world? So there are treatises that obstruct that Jivan Mukti status, and Kaulini obstruct Videha Mukti status. Videha Mukti is the Mukti after the physical body is gone, after death. Jivan Mukta continues to live after attaining the Mukti and depart after the physical body dies. Okay? Obstructs. Kaulini, both Sarvesvari and Kaulini, Sarvesvari obstructs Jivan Mukta and how we can continue to live in the world of duality, and Kaulini obstructs the knowledge of Videha Mukti. How can someone attain Mukti after death? Mukti is Jnanam that you have to attain, so while living only you can do it. After you are gone, how you are going to do it? See, there are like, as we say, so many times we are not aware of, we all think like, Veda teaches only certain things. This is why it is called Dargam is there, debate is there. And then after debating the pros and cons of certain things, then you infer, okay, this is what it is. I feel that this has got a strong case here. So they denote that Dargam. The mind sways between the two ends. Sometimes it goes with the union, sometimes it goes against the union. There is nothing wrong till you come to the conclusion. The swaying happens. This is exactly what they denote. So they are in the form of Shastras. And when you go through everything and they clear all the doubts, whatever it is, at the end of this Avaranam, your doubts are cleared. That Samshayam is gone. You are coming to a conclusive evidence that this is what is the Brahman and this is what I am going to be meditating on. That kind of a conclusion you come at the end of this Avaranam, before you go to the next Avaranam. And there is also another thing like, these 8 Devatas represent Puryashtakam. We have come across Puryashtakam in Lalita Sahasranama. We call like, when Bandasura Vadam happened, when Ganeshwara emerged. Ganeshwara is the one who completely won over that, because he is the one who represents Puryashtakam. Why we all pray to Ganesha is mainly for that, to get that kind of a purity that he has gotten, to gain that mastery over that. That Puryashtakam is, I have told, like, Karmendriyas are there, Jnanendriyas, Antrakarana, Prana, cosmic elements, 5 basic cosmic elements, desire, ignorance, and the last most important one, karma. We are all caught in that, but Ganeshwara is above all these things. Because they have got 28 elements, though they are called Puryashtakam. The entire thing, Karmendriyas 5, Jnanendriyas 5, Panchabhutas 5, Pranas 5, 20, and Antakarana 4, 24, then 24, and ignorance, desire, ignorance, and karma are 3. It was 27. The Mula Mantra of Ganeshwara, Mahamula Mantram, is got 27 bijams in that. To say that they represent that Puryashtakam. So they say like this 8 Devatas represent each one of them. Puryashtakam. Purifying it completely. Completely your mind is getting purified here. We come to Bhavana Upanishad. Few minutes. Bhavana Upanishad, because it is only 8 Devatas. Sitoshna, Shukha, Dukha, Ichchaha, Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, Gunaha, Vashinyadi, Saktyoshtav. Sitoshna. Sitoshna means climatic conditions. Sometimes hot, sometimes cold. Sitoshna. Sukha, Dukha. The mental state of being happy or sad. Sukha, Dukkam. It is only a mental state. It is only our reaction to something that happens, whether we feel happy or sad. Ichchaha. Ichcha means desirous, desirableness or emotions, that is emotionalism. Sattva, Rajas, Tamo, Guna. Gunas get, all these things come into an equilibrium here. They are all equipoised. They all come in equilibrium. There is no, the gunas are also not one up or one down, they are all in unison, equipoised. We see that, like, the shariram is called Pinda Shariram, what the body that we have, it is called Pinda Shariram. The Pinda Shariram has got 5 kosas, sheets covering the soul. We have got the outermost is the Annamaya kosha, and the innermost is Anandamaya kosha. The Sthula Shariram is made of Annamaya kosha, and Sukshma Shariram made of Manomaya, Vijnanamaya, Pranamaya. Prana, Mano, Vijnana. These 3 koshas come for the Sukshma Deham. Karana Deham is Anandamaya kosha. At the time of death, the Sthula Shariram goes off. Sukshma Shariram continues to live and takes another birth. Okay? And at the time of Pralayam, the Sukshma Shariram goes. At the time of Samhara, Pralayam happens, Sukshma Shariram goes, only Karana Shariram stays with the soul. Karana Shariram is permanent. Anandamayam, that is why it is Anandamaya Kosham, because it's always attached to the Brahman. And it is closest to the, if the soul is only the Brahman, and it is the closest point to the Brahman, it is always in the state of bliss. And all our karmas get attached to the Karana Deha. Because these are all temporary, So the karmas are permanent. It looks out for a permanent place to stay. So it all gets lepanam, it happens only in the Karana Deham. The Karana Deham stays till Pralayam. And why it is called Karana Deham? It becomes the reason for your next birth. Post-Pralayam. When the creation again happens, it becomes the reason for your birth as what you are going to be. That is the reason it is called Karana Deham. And it is permanent, it is always attached. The soul is attached to the 3. This is what is Pinda Shariram. Pinda Shariram is made of these things, and the organs are covered by these 5 sheets. When everything comes into an equilibrium, when the gunas are equipoised, when the mind is always in a constant straight line, there is no up and down in that, what happens? The physical body can adjust itself to the outer climatic conditions. It doesn't affect the heat or cold of that. When he realizes, the sadhaka gets all the doubts clear, and the mind rests on the Brahman, and he is ready to get into the meditation, into the deep Nididhyasanam on the doubtless Brahman, everything is equipoised in an equilibrium. That time, this physical body is not affected by the external atmosphere, and he is able to be dwelling into it. That is the reason when we say, like, Valmiki has been doing penance for so many years. Ramanama, those Valmika means the ant hill that forms around him, he doesn't realize. So the body has reached that kind of an equilibrium. Only Ramanama can bring that. Even if you don't know any sloka, recite only Ramanama. That is enough. It can take you anywhere. When it can transform a monkey into Anjaneya, why can't it transform us? No? That is the power of that mantra. So, the sadhaka gets into the stage when the external influence doesn't affect his body or his soul. He stays on the soul. So, he stays inside the Karna Deham. Sukshma Deham is out, Sthula Deham is out. Though present physically, there is Sukshma Deham, there is Sthula Deham also is present. But his mind is shifted from, if you see, like, when the child is complaining about stomachache, when the TV ad comes, no stomachache is seen. Shifting of mind. When the mind concentrates on the stomach ache, then you feel the pain. The mind is shifted to something else and the focus is on something else. Then a moment that advertisement, let it get over, back the stomach ache. This is exactly what we are all. I'm saying it is a child because we all concentrate on our problems much more than needed. Because we are the creators of the problem and we complain, we are the one who complain about that. So when you think of the problem only, then you see only the problem. You focus on something else. That is the reason we do so many pujas. So your focus turns on something good. Something that the sound that purifies your mind, the mantras, the namas that purify your mind. Then the samsara, dahanam doesn't affect us that much. The sorrow doesn't affect us that much. When your mind is taken away from that, you forcibly focus on something else. This is exactly what happens. So, when the mind is focused on the soul that is within the Karana Deham, the Sthula Deham and Sukshma Deham goes out of focus. It is present, but it goes out of focus. And so any external things nothing affect the sadhaka, and he goes on to the next stage of Nididhyasana, which is the next Avarana. Okay? Got it clear? Gurubhyo Namaha.